Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Steven here with Team Euphoric, and today I'm going to be taking you through an ab routine to help you get shredded just in time for the summer. This is week 17 of the 6 months to shredded abs routine, and for it, it's the same as last week, but we're going to be adding a little bit of volume on top of last week's workout. We're going to need some mats to lay down on, and we're going to need a kettlebell, and this is intended for intermediates. If you're a little bit more advanced, consider becoming a member, as I have the entire 6-month program outlined in my community tabs. But with regard to the exercises for each of them, we're going to be in a supine position, meaning we're going to be laying down on our back. First exercise is going to be the abdominal curl up, and for this one, we're going to flex the knees so that our feet are nice and flat on the floor, and our arms are going to be down by our sides. We're going to initiate the movement by tucking the chin toward the chest, and then we want to round our spine nice and slowly to create a nice C-shaped curve with our spine. So for this one, we tuck in the chin, then we come into flexion, straighten up at the top, and then we're going to round the spine on the way down. But nice and slowly. So we're tucking in the chin, lifting the thoracic spine, then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then on the way down, L5, L4, L3, L2, L1, all the way till we're back down to the ground. That is the abdominal curl up, and for this one right over here, we are going to be doing 2 sets of 30 repetitions. Then, next exercise, what we're going to be doing is the supra-umbilical external obliques. Feet are going to be in the same position. We're going to cup the arm over the opposite shoulder. With the opposite arm, what we want to do is we are going to bring the arm into adduction. So we want to cross the midline, and we want it mid-thigh, so between the patella and the iliac crest. Then, for this one, we're doing positive torsion. So we want to do a combination of flexion with rotation, and we're only going to the level of the L3 or your umbilicus because this is the supra-umbilical fibers. So we want to go ahead, tuck in the chin, come up until the level of the L3, and then come back down. So imagine that you're trying to bring your elbow toward your mid-thigh. We're going to do 2 sets of 25 repetitions of that exercise. Then we're going to move on to the next exercise, which is going to be the transverse abdominis strengthening. For this one over here, we're laying down with our legs flat on the ground. We want to inhale, expand the belly button toward the sky, then exhale, let the belly button sink deep down toward the spine. That counts as pass number 1. We're going to do 5 total passes per repetition. So we're inhaling, keeping that belly tucked in, exhaling, belly button down toward the spine. That's pass number 2. 1 more pass. Keep that belly button tucked in, exhale. Try and sink deeper. That's pass 3. We've got 2 more. Inhale. Keep that belly tucked in. Exhale. Try and sink deeper. And then that was number 4. We've got 1 final pass. So we're inhaling, keeping that belly tucked in, and then exhaling and trying to sink that belly button deep down toward the spine as much as possible. Once we've completed the 5th and final pass, we're going to reset by inhaling, allowing the belly to expand, and then exhaling, contracting everything once again. 5 passes counts as 1 repetition. We're going to do 2 total sets of 3 repetitions, and each repetition is 5 passes. Now we're going to move on to the sub-umbilical work, starting with the rectus abdominis. We want the arms at the level of the glenohumeral angle, so roughly 90 to 135 degrees, depending on your morphology. We want the hips flexed to 90 degrees, so we want the thighs perpendicular to the ground. And for this one, because it's the sub-umbilical fibers, we're going to bring the knees up toward the sky to the level of the L3 or your umbilicus. You want to go up in one straight line and then come back down. First time you do it, you may not be able to get your hips up off the ground if you lack strength in the sub-umbilical fibers. However, just have the intention of bringing your knees up toward the sky. You don't need to get there right off on the first try, but as you get stronger, you will be able to raise it. And with this one, you don't want to go into flexion of the thighs and you don't want to go into extension. You want the femurs perpendicular to the ground the entire time. So you're going up, coming back down. We're going to do 2 total sets of 25 repetitions, and then we're going to move on to the sub-umbilical fibers of the external obliques. So for this one, we have the arms at the level of the glenohumeral angle once again. With the thigh, we have 1 flex to 90 degree. With the opposite leg, we're going to go into adduction, a deduction of 30 to 45 degrees by crossing the thigh over the opposite hip. And then for this one right over here, we're doing positive torsion. So we're bringing the hip toward the opposite shoulder and only going to the level of the L3. And that is it for the sub-umbilical fibers of the external obliques. For that one, we're going to do 2 sets of 25 repetitions, and then we're going to finish off with 1 set of 20 repetitions of the strengthening exercise for the thoracic diaphragm. So we're going to place the kettlebell on the stomach. We're inhaling, letting the stomach raise toward the sky, and then exhaling, letting it sink deep toward the spine. So we inhale, and then we exhale. Once we've completed all 20 repetitions, that is it for week 17. And as a quick recap, we have the abdominal strengthening exercise, the abdominal curl up. We're going to be doing 2 sets of 40 repetitions. Then we have the external oblique exercise. We've got 2 sets of 30 repetitions for that. We've got 3 sets for the transverse abdominis strengthening exercise. Each set consists of 5 repetitions, and each set is going to consist of 3 repetitions, and each repetition is 5 passes. Then we have the sub-umbilical work for the lower abdominals, or the sub-umbilical rectus abdominis. We've got 2 sets of 30, and then we're going to finish off with 2 sets of 25 for the external obliques, the sub-umbilical fibers. And then the last exercise, it's just 1 set of 20 for the thoracic diaphragm strengthening exercise. But that is it for week 17 of the 6 months to shredded abs routine. And then next week, I'm going to be taking you through week 18.